Hey guys, bit of a different kind of episode today. It's been a while since I've posted to the channel, and I kind of just wanted to make a little video here. As you can see, it's a beautiful day outside. It's a Sunday here. It's March 12th, and I'm in Paris right now. And I just wanted to kind of talk about my weekend. I went to the Clan Clash event for Vampire in Brussels, Belgium, and that was a really good time. I'd been to Brussels once before, and it's a fun city. I like their sense of humor, their mannequin P, their statue, lots of the bande dessinée comics, graphic novels are very big there. They have murals and Tintin and Captain Haddock and Snowy drawn on it. So it's a very cool city. And the event itself, it was the Clan Clash event, Clan Clash Brussels, and I prepared a fair amount for the event. I had been playing a lot on TTS, practicing, and I went in with this deck. So for Vampire, I just play a meal, and that's just the modus operandi. I play in a mill deck, and the rest has to figure itself out. So running a mill as my leader, and using Royal Retreat and then Hoard the Herd, so trying to kill mortals, cycle events back into the deck with a meal, and then use the Royal Retreat to help clear the city of citizens and just get those nasty events back in that I can just ignore. So the deck performed fine. So my first game, actually, let's walk through the events of the tournament. My first game, I was playing against actually the Prince of Brussels from their fall events, and then a girl, Anna, and yeah, it was a 3-player game. I got really behind on points. They were both far ahead of me on points, but I knew my deck had a lot of prestige drain stuff, so I knew I had a chance. I knew I was in it. It didn't look good by any means, but once I was able to claim Prince of the City, that turned on some of my effects, and I was able to start pushing some schemes and stuff like that. Or at least there was actually the other guy was playing a scheme deck, so more so it was more that I was able to kind of block some of his stuff. And I was able to get him down pretty low on prestige. I actually wiped a lot with backhanded compliment. I probably cleared 5 or 6 of his prestige. And then I was able to land the killing blow with a balance of power to take the last 2 from him. So that was nice. It was off to a good start to the tournament for game 1. Then we went to game 2, so I got matched up against all the other people who had won their first game. And this one just didn't go super well for me. It wasn't a particular thing per se. Their decks all just performed well. They're good players. They played well, and I would make some changes to my deck. I think there was a few things that I think just weren't quite as efficient enough, but it was still a close game. I had him pretty low on his prestige. I think he was at, I want to say he was at maybe 2. I think he was at 2 at the end of the game, and then another guy got to 13. So that game, Hoard the Herd, was just as good as useless. I think I got like 1 or 2 points from it the whole game. So, and I'll talk a little more about this at the end. And so then going into game 3, I was like, okay, all I need to do is win this third game, and I'm in the finals, because I've already won 1. I didn't get knocked out in the second one. Strength of schedule is good, because the game I lost was the game with it was a 4-player game. It was all the people who had won. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. Like I just got to win this last game, and we're in business. Even if I don't win, it's like, well, I have a chance. But I was like, hey, let's just win and get to the finals. So I sit down, and I'm playing against this girl who was like a little newer to Vampire, and then this kid, and it was this like it was like a Belgian kid, and I think he was there with his dad, and I was like, okay, like, the girl was pretty new to the game, and then there was a kid. I don't know how old he was, but he didn't look really all, older. I don't know, he was around 12, 13 maybe, something like that. But it was like, I was like, hey, like, let's I gotta mop the floor here. So the game starts, and I did make a stupid mistake where the tournament was actually a really cool format. At the start of each game, we randomly decided to either use the San Francisco deck, the Prague deck, or Prague deck with Conclave events. And this, unfortunately, I never got to, well, okay, actually, let's keep going where we are. So this particular game, we're playing the Prague deck with the Conclave events, and that it's like opening ceremonies or grand, something like that, is some card where you can like exhaust your vampires to take a prestige. And I had two just vampires standing, 2 out of my 3 vampires, the ones that weren't a mill, were just upright and standing there, and I just forgot to use that event. I'm like, oh boy, okay. I was like, that's not ideal. So then the game's going along, and this game, Hoard the Herd's actually like it's putting in, it's doing pretty well. I'm collecting points. I grabbed the prince too. I think I'm up like 8 to the kid has 3, and he's playing Thin Bloods, but he's built up like a big force. But I think he's still sitting on like 2 or 3 agenda, and the girl, she's doing okay. She's playing a titles deck. She's getting her points. She's at, I want to say 4 or 5, but I'm at 8, and I have the prince, and I'm like, okay, like we're in business. Let's wrap this thing up. And then the girl, who I'm her rival, she attacks. Well, I have a mill with prince, but he has 2 minus blood potency tokens on him because the kid playing Thin Bloods was using Monica to put them on. So, and then he'd also attacked her or something. The circumstances were like Emil had 2 minus BP tokens. He was at like 3 of his 7 blood, and he was exhausted on the streets with the prince, as the prince. But I was guarding him with Louvier, who was ready, and I'm like, it was only a 3-player game too. I'm like, okay. And then she attacks Louvier, and she fires off a big attack. I forget what card she uses, but she one-shots Louvier, who I think was either at full blood or 2 out of his 3. And I played a defense card too. You know, I think he was at all his blood, and I played a defense card, and she killed him. So I don't remember exactly, but anyways, that's kind of besides the point. Louvier's dead. Now Emil's exposed, and I'm like, oh boy. But I have defense cards in my hand. I just got to survive this turn from the Thin Bloods, from the kids' attacks, and it's pretty well. It's looking very good at that point if I do, or at least I think it's looking good. I ended up drawing just bricks, like just bad cards, so I may have still lost anyway, but I guess that's a spoiler. But yeah, then the kid, he does a ranged attack on Emil, and I can't play my defense cards because I don't have a ranged one, which in hindsight, maybe a deck building error. And he kills Emil and takes Prince, and he had also gotten his strength and numbers online, so he has then he kills a mortal with his other action. He has like a 5 agenda turn. All of a sudden, boom, he's at 8, it's 8-8 or something, or he's 8-7 for me. But then Emil is dead, Louvier is dead for me. I'm on only Carmina is left. And then I don't draw any attack cards. And I'm just or I don't have any in my hand. I'm drawing all defense cards, all just, other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I can't even go and just kill a mortal for a point with Carmina. And I don't want to spend the time digging for another vampire because the kid is getting a lot of points. I'm just like, oh boy, this isn't good. So then the turn goes around, or maybe it was on his last turn. At some point he throws down a constant surveillance on my Hoard the Herd at a point where I'm pretty sure I would have gotten the 2 agenda from it. And I'm just like, you know what? Tip of the cap to you, sonny boy. You earned this. You absolutely earned this. So yeah, this kid was a prodigy. I get just spanked by this kid, and then that's the 3rd game. So now it's I think there were, how many players would have there been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. I want to say there were 13 players, and I had won and then lost twice, but didn't get knocked out. I'm sitting on 5 tournament points. I'm like, it's not good, but I have a chance. I have a chance at the finals. So then it comes out, and no, I'm not in it. And after, I end up seeing the schedule, and I got 5th. So the top 4 went to the finals, and I was sitting at 5th. And I'm like, oh my god. Just got slapped with an L from a Belgian boy. So there's my Saturday. And yeah, kid was super nice. So yeah, great on him. And he's a really good player, so full credit to him. He was super nice kid too. And really interesting because he built his own city deck, the Brussels city deck. So it was with Prague characters, but it was all Brussels events, and he had made this deck of cards that we didn't use in the tournament, but after we played a fun game with him, myself, the Prince of Brussels, because he didn't make the finals, and then a 4th guy that he was a good guy too. And he had built his own city deck, and it was really interesting. It was cool cards, really creative ideas, and yeah, some really cool stuff. There was a couple events in particular I really thought was like, oh, this is really interesting. And he actually illustrated all the cards too, and I was genuinely very impressed with his art skills as well. So yeah, this kid, total prodigy, can do it all, and can beat me at Vampire, clearly. So that's my story at the Prince of the City event. Now I'm just in Paris. It's Sunday. I'm heading back to work. Well, I work tomorrow morning, Monday morning, so just spending the day in Paris before I head back to Caen tonight. And yeah, it's like just beautiful. I'm out at the park here. Birds are chirping, talking about my Vampire L, rubbing it in my face a little bit. But yeah, it's fun to make a video again and just chat about things a little bit. In terms of Vampire, actually, first, in terms of the event, it was a really good time. Super nice crowd in Brussels. They were really accommodating. I didn't have all my cards with me in France that I ended up wanting to use, so the guy organizing the event lent me some cards. I was missing Carmina, and he didn't have that, and a guy lent me Carmina, and at the end of the tournament, I was like, oh, hey, like, here's the Carmina card, because he was leaving, and he's like, c'est un cadeau, and like, it's a gift. And I'm like, I don't know, I was like, I don't do it. And I was like, okay, well, like, thank you. So that was really nice of him. Everyone I played with was very nice. I ended up chatting with Anna ended up winning. So the girl I played in the first game. And yeah, she was super nice, and it was cool to see her win. There was another guy who made the finals that, unfortunately, I don't even want to say that I forget his name, because I think we just never got to like introduce each other ourselves maybe. But I was talking with him at the end, and yeah, really good guy too. So yeah, everyone was very nice. It was a lot of fun. Brussels again was awesome. Ate some Belgian fries, had a beer, Belgian waffle as well. So I really feel like I checked all the boxes on my trip, and yeah, it was just a really good time. So enjoy the day, and I'll try to enjoy the day in Paris here. It's a beautiful day, and just hanging out at the park is really nice right now, and taking in the scenes. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I might just throw this up on YouTube right now, because I don't know, I don't feel like doing editing and things like that. I'll try to find a way to just post this if I'm able to, just right from my phone here. So we'll see how that goes. And oh, in regards to the deck, that's what I wanted to talk about. I feel like if I literally just swapped Horde the Herd for Invisible Army, I think I just do infinitely better on the day, because I found myself, especially with a mill taking a Vagrant is such a big swing of an action, because you don't have to play an attack card as long as there's not a Dragon's Roost or some kind of way for them to disrupt your attack on the Vagrant. You don't have to play cards, so you get to, if a mill defeats and attaches a Vagrant, you're getting 2 agenda to mix an event back in, and you're not even having to play a card from your hand to do it. So it's really strong, and you get the benefit of having the Vagrant on a mill, which helps protect him, as the then my deck has a lot of prints of the city stuff going on, so he naturally can become a target. And if you have the Vagrants on him to protect him, they can always soak Team X damage too. So I think my deck just does a lot better if that's the case. I usually found myself with multiple Vagrants attached to Mill, and granted, if I'm playing Invisible Army and they see that flip, you know, maybe they're potentially making more of a concerted effort to have me not get the Vagrants. But Emil can play Irresistible Voice so easily. He can fire off a 4 mental attack, spend 1 blood because he has the two disciplines, and just steal a Vagrant too if they take one. So I think that's just a better version of the deck. That's something I'm kind of going to look into because I have the Tabletop Simulator, the TTS online tournament that I'm in right now. And Invisible Army is one of the agendas that I chose that I can use, as it was a thing where it's like, oh, choose 4 and you have to build your decks from these 4 to give like a bit more of a, I don't know, to have things open, but a little bit of a order and restriction, I suppose, in terms of what you can play. And you can't play just a different agenda each one of your 5 games. I guess you could 4 out of your 5. But anyways, regardless, Invisible Army I think is the way to go. There's some other stuff I want to explore too. When the new expansion comes out, I kind of want to do like an Emil Dragon Roost with, I saw they spoiled the new card where if the character has the lightning bolt symbol, it's like I forget what it is. It's like they're really fast, really quick. Like there's some card, I think it's basically a card, the cat's reflex. I don't remember, but if the character has the lightning bolt symbol, you attach the card to a character, and if they have the lightning bolt symbol at the end of your turn, you can ready them. So I'm like, okay, I can attack with a Mill and then Dragon's Roost on someone else's turn. Maybe if I go Invisible Army, then I can use Roost to make other people not get the Vagrants. There's just a lot of ideas buzzing around in my head. So if you enjoyed this video, if you want to hear more, happy to share. Otherwise, it was fun just chatting a little bit. So until next time, take care and have a good one.